Hi, everyone. We have author A. Page Turner here, and he's going to tell us a little bit about himself.
Yes, hello everybody. My name is A. Page Turner. My government name is Rich Turner. A. Page Turner is my pen name that I go by. Born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. Joined the military at a young age of 19 in the Navy. I did 8 years and then I crossed over to the Army and I did 20. So I'm a 28-year Army Navy veteran. I just retired last February and I took a job as a contractor at the Special Operations Forces as a logistics planner, doing planning for special forces when they go on raids and killing people, kidnapping people. I basically did the logistics for that to make sure they had everything they need to complete their mission. Did that. I'm currently residing here in Tampa, Florida, and I'm getting ready to take another job working for the Defense Intelligence Agency in the DMV area. So I actually be leaving the warm weather of Tampa on the 10th of December and going to the code. So, during my 28 years, I became a warrant officer. Warrant officer is a technical expert in a specific job, right? So I was in the Army's Navy. The Navy have big boats and they sail on big blue water. The Army have flat bottom boats to where they hit the beach and you offload equipment, so on and so forth, right? So that was part of the Transportation Corps. That was started in 1942, and I actually made history before I retired. I became the first African American to reach the rank of CW5 in the Transportation Corps. So after I did that, I had nothing else to prove. So I retired. And after I took the job at SOCOM, COVID hit and I was bored, stuck in the house. And I said, hey, I'm going to write a book. So I used my imagination to write a book, which is it's a 3-part series written in reverse chronological order called The Emancipation of Limits. So that brought me here today.
Okay. Well, congratulations and thank you for your services.
Yeah.
So tell us about your book.
All right. So the book Emancipation of Limits actually inspired by COVID, and it also was inspired by power, right? So like I said, it's a 3-book series written in reverse chronological order. So I wrote the last book first. So it's about a character who his name is Richie, and he was in the military for 20 years. And when he was a kid, he ran with his uncle's drug organization. He used to sell drugs for his uncle. He did that up until the age of 19, and he was actually caught being with the opposing drug organization's wife. So they was actually after him. His uncle said, I can't protect you. So he joined the military. So he did his 20 plus years. And right before he was retiring, his uncle wanted him to come back and run the business. But he said, I'm not going to run the business. I've been 20 years in the military. I'm out of that life. Well, his uncle was really on him to run it. And Richie was in Belize at his last duty station before he retired. So being in Belize, he was seeing how Black people in Belize are impoverished. He was seeing, back in America, and the African Americans was being done by the cops. Educational system was crap. The job opportunities wasn't there. So he agreed to run his uncle's drug organization, but he would only do it if he could put 80% of his profits from the drug trade back into the Black community. So this book is basically when he is established, he got these business running, everything is going good. Now he wants out the game, but the Connect don't want to let him out because he makes so much money, for him. And the street element trying to kill him because of who he is and how much control he had. So this book is basically written as if he is trying to get out the game. His whole team is military. So the things that they did to get to this point in order to get other drug organizations in Chicago to follow his movement was a challenge to him, right? Because most drug dealers are about themselves and just the people in their circle. So he's coming with a whole different concept and he's trying to push his agenda. And those who do not go with his agenda, he eliminates. So this character he has a lot of things going against him, right? He wants to save his people, but at the same time, he has to get rid of them too in order to save. So the character is definitely for the greater good. So it's a big book. It's about 102,000 words. This is my first novel. I've had over 20 people review it, and they said that this is a Netflix series just waiting to happen. So me writing a book is just the foundation to what I want to get to do something like Power, but have a more African-American good story and have strong Black women leads. So that's the goal.
That sounds good. Now, are you self-published?
I am self-published. I financed everything myself, from the book trailer to the book cover, everything. So yeah, everything is under my control.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And how long did it take you to finish writing it?
4 months. I started in March and I ended in August.
Okay.
I just found that I have a talent for writing. I have a hell of imagination because I've been around the world and seen different cultures mixed with different people. So I bring a lot of things that happen to my life to the story, all right? So if it's things that you already know how you want it to go, it's easier to write, right? And this would be actually the hardest book to write because everything was basically from scratch. So, you know, what I did to help me, I always reference back to when he was a kid, or I reference back to the other books as well to, you know, to bring everything together. And hopefully when people read it, they get so entangled into the characters, because I tell the end of the story in this book. So I basically wanted to challenge myself to see if I can get people so wrapped up into the characters that they want to buy the other books just to see how they got to that.
Right.
So,
Okay, and you want to introduce your trailer?
It's called, of course, The Emancipation of Limits. This is a real movie trailer, like you're sitting in a movie theater waiting for your movie to come on. We did the whole 100% casting and everything. So it was actually, you know, filmed in Atlanta. The actual story of the book takes place in Chicago, right? So the story, you know, the trailer was done in Atlanta, right? So my Army buddy, who retired a couple years before me, he's a film director. So I reached out to him. We said, hey, this is my vision. I want to do a book trailer. He had no idea what a book trailer was. So he researched it. I gave him my vision board of how I wanted to go. We did a casting call. We casted for the characters that I wanted in the trailer. And it took us 16 hours to film over a weekend. So hey, watch it, enjoy it, and I hope you like it.
I made it out. At least I thought I did. A wise man once told me that this game is a lifetime contract full of deception, destruction, and death. Any vulnerabilities you may have, family, friends, violence is the tool. It binds you to this business. I'm caught between the cartel and the streets. Proverb states, when death comes, just hope that it finds you alive. I survive in this game by always staying 2 steps ahead of my adversaries. sleep.
Tell us where we can purchase your book.
You can only purchase my book at www.apajturner.com. I am not on Amazon. I am not on any other book service because they charge too much, and I want all my money. So come to my website. You'll learn a lot about the author, my growing up, my works. I also have a blog called 3G. Come join, subscribe, and keep in contact with people who's interested in my works. But yeah, don't look at Amazon or any place. They take too much money, and I don't want to make anybody else rich.
No, that's right. And tell us where we can find you on social media.
You can find me on social media at my author's name, A. Page Turner. I am not on Snapchat, even though I should be. I think I'm a little too old for Snapchat, but you can find me on IG and Facebook, A. Page Turner. Put it in the search bar and then I'll pop up.
Now tell us, how did you come up with the cover of the book?
Well, the cover, I wanted to be different, right? So I do a lot of research, and I'm friends with a lot of authors, and I look at their covers and they're all the same. They got a nice car in the front, and it's all formatted the same, right? You got a beautiful looking chick on the front, maybe, nice body, or a guy got a ski mask or something like that. I want it to be very mysterious, right? So that's why the main character, the back is turned, right? You can tell that just by looking at the cover that he's someone of somewhat important, right? He got a gun, and that lets you know that, he's about his business, and he also is dressed like he's about his business as well. So him overlooking the city, I think you get the feel of like he's watching out for something, or he's planning for something. So I just think the book cover is unique. I don't think that you'll find another one like it, and it's different from what my counterparts do. So, and it's eye-catching. And it's a handsome guy on the cover. That's because it's me.
And are you working on part 2 right now?
Well, right now, no. I have it in my mind, right, how I want to start and how I want to finish. So this book, because I'm self-publishing, everything is done by your will, right? So whatever, marketing, promoting, everything is done. I have a very small team, and I need to get it to a certain point to where I can break away from it and let it grow, right? So what's different for me than a lot of people, I am using a printing company to print my books, but I have 2 locations to where they'll be sitting and sent out, as people order them. So again, I want to capitalize on every dollar that I can get so I can put it towards making this book into a series.
Okay. And how do you think being a writer has helped you as a person?
I think that it was just the opposite. I think what I have been as a person with my military career has helped me as a writer. I don't read books. I only read books for self-help or just to learn something, not for enjoyment, right? So my mom was a movie buff growing up. Every Friday we in somebody's movies, regardless if I wanted to see them or not. So The Exorcist, Poltergeist, all those movies, as I was in there, like this watching, I would go. And that helped me build my imagination, and just the experience I had through the military dealing with people helped me as a writer, right? So as you look at the characters in my book, they are from people who I either grew up with or I was in the military with. And the characters that I made up has a lot of me in the characters, right? Different sides of my personality that no one really knows unless they really know me. So I have about 38 characters in this book. And when I started writing, I didn't even use an outline because I didn't even know how to write a novel. So when I started writing the book and I let somebody who reads books see it, and they said, man, this is a script. This ain't a novel. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, you need to go look at a novel and see how it's written. So I read two pages of a novel and I said, okay, I got it. And I changed the format up and got busy with it.
Okay. And speaking of characters, do you have a favorite character in your book?
Man, that is really hard. So I would say on Richie's team, every character has responsibility that if one of them came up missing, the whole thing would fail, except for the main character. He's the only one that is probably that can be erased and a team would move forward. So if I had to pick my top three, I would say my number one would have to be Tech, right? So Tech is the technology guy. He's the one that makes sure that he provides the technology for the vehicles, for the drugs to be bought in actually through a submersible submarine, right? So they have so much money, they use high technology advances in order to get their drugs in. So the drugs, the drones, anything computer, he hides the money really well. He does everything. So, and plus he's the funniest character in the book, right? So he's actually a mulatto, right? He's mixed black and white, and he brings both aspects of his culture, you know, to the table. And he is extremely funny. So I would say Tech, and then I would say my two female leads, black leads. I would have to say D, is because she runs the day-to-day business of it. And then my other strong character, I would have to say Ariel. She and Richie became an item in Belize, but once he got into the game, he didn't want her between him and the connect, but he knew that would make him vulnerable. So they parted ways. But she actually became very influential because she actually ran for prime minister in Belize, and she did it to protect Richie. It was no other way. She wasn't interested in it, but it's something that she had to do in order to push the movement forward. So, and other things that happened in the book that kind of pushed her to that. So it is it is a really good read. I can't wait till you people get a hold of it and start reading. So I think after they read the first chapter, they're going to be hooked.
All right, I'm gonna let you know. Now, is there anything else that you would like to tell us about your book?
Again, I would just like to say it is a good read. It has everything in it. It has, you know, most Black stories, you know, or anything when it comes to music or whatever, right? It's always one David Ruffin in every group, right? It's one Beyonce in every group, right? They think they're larger than the group, but with this, it is unity. It is the underlining story of the book, right? The drugs part is just the entertainment of the book, right? So the book is basically about Black minds all working together for a common goal, right? So us as African descents, we are connected to the universe. And then we also have a special connection to God because he made us as him. And I think that once you get Black minds all moving in the same direction on the same accord, there is nothing more powerful than that. So this book displays that, right? And I hope that people get the underlying message, even drug dealers, even people who are getting, you know, a mass amount of money from doing something legal may read this book and go, man, I think I can do a little bit more to help the community.
Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, I appreciate you having me. You was booked up. I was like, wow, it was 2 months out. I say this thing must be really going well for you. And from what you told me, yeah. So, hey, keep up the good work. Keep expanding your brand, and I would love to come back after your readers, you know, take a read, and maybe we can sit down on a large panel and we can talk about the characters in the book and, you know, what they think about the book.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye. All right, everyone, that was author A. Page Turner. Make sure you go out and purchase a copy of his book from his website, www.apageturner.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this video below. Bye.